Good evening, welcome, and hello. I've got all those words the wrong way around, but hello and welcome to the Full Force News Burst Live with me, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend and a wicked Sunday. I'm a little bit late to the party on this one. Obviously, this all broke. The news of the Nemesis Immortal Headsculpts broke very late last night. And I was already asleep at that point. So obviously in the morning, we were sharing stuff on those particular images. But yeah, obviously behind on this one. That's fair enough. I mean, that's what we do here at the Full Force. We bring you the news way after the fact, and you've all come to love and cherish us for that. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Good evening, Mark. Hello, mate. Must be a late one for you, buddy. Was it nearly 1 o'clock in the morning? Or is it nearly 12? Hang on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's only 11:39. Good luck. Right then. Yeah, let's get stuck in. Because we've got, obviously, some fun leaks to talk about. Gross. Yes. So, like I said, late last night, some images went round. I think it was Laserpants81 who shared it originally. It was picked up by a bunch of other people and reshared and so on and so forth. And yes, we did inadvertently credit the wrong people with the original posting, but it was just how we saw it. Unfortunately, when I saw it from a certain source, and then I was like, okay. Read the thing and it said something about Chinese what's the word source, and I just reposted it, so apologies for that one. But yeah, we rectified that in post after a few people commented on it. So anyway, yes, that the image that popped up, as you can see on the screen at the moment on the left hand side, or in the middle of the screen right now, showed two very distinct Nemesis Immortal head sculpts. Amazing, right? So these are kind of like pretty cool, and the fact that Nemesis Immortal is going to be a deluxe figure, which we know, he's probably going to come with two heads, so that's pretty fair to assume. No, the in-laws are still here, Chris. They're here till Tuesday. So, but I'm, I can sneak off every now and again. They're totally supportive of my news bursting. A lot of people have been talking about how much the one on the left looks like a Klingon head as well, which I think is quite funny. Hello, Cully. Haven't seen you in ages, buddy. Good to see you, mate. Cheers. Right. Classified and retro? I don't think so, Josh. I mean, no. To be honest, I think it's just two heads because it's a deluxe figure. So I can imagine we're probably going to, well, not to say that we're not going to get that eventually, but I don't think they're going to do that so close together, if you know what I mean. I would. The in-laws are understanding of your alternative lifestyle. Indeed, Mark. Indeed, they are. But because we know this is a deluxe figure, it's not a surprise that we've got two heads with this one coming, right? I didn't think we would, or at least I thought we might have like one emotive, one regular, like sort of like different heads, but maybe different, one screaming or yelling or something. But instead we get two different head sculpts, but you can see they're effectively the same character. Obviously, the one on the left-hand side, as a lot of people have been saying, is it looks very much like a Klingon. And I do see it. I do see that. And in fact, we can zoom in on it. Here you go. Bush. Look, tech. The tech we are dealing with on this show is like, it's like Cobra La, isn't it? Except not as gross. Well, probably about the same level as gross in actual fact. Yeah, so obviously two heads. It's going to have massive wings in it. Let's face it, we're going to have some pretty stonking wings. I believe the figure is going to be bigger, and that's easy to say and rhyme. So it's probably going to be a very new thing indeed. I don't think we're going to see anything reused here. I think this is all going to be brand new. I can't see how they would do it. A lot of people have been saying maybe they use the Serpentor buck. nah, this is going to be bigger than that, I think. Anyway, who's that's a good one, Scott. I like that. I can't even begin to even say it, so I'm just gonna let that one sit there. So anyway, yeah, so he's got this kind of like mohawk, this Cobra La mohawk going on. This is the Stegosaurus version of Nemesis Immortal, but no, I like this one, and I like the. In fact, I'm going to change the brightness on my screen because that's driving me mad. Just for me, not for you guys. There we go. I can actually see it now. Yeah, a lot of details, a lot of really cool elements on here. I love how it's going over the nose too, which is very much probably what's bringing about the Klingon sort of comparisons. But no, did I turn the brightness up too brightly? I probably did, and now it looks like it's, even though I've got a light on my face, it looked like I've absolutely washed out. Who's Mohawk? Genius, Jason. I love that one. So yeah, I do. It does have that vibe, but I quite like this. This is, I'm assuming this is the kind of updated. Assuming it has to be the updated version of his kind of head sculpt, and it will be interesting once this actually gets out there officially, and they can actually start talking about it officially. It'd be great to hear the reasoning behind that, what they wanted to, what Lenny was kind of after here with this particular kind of design. But I think it looks great. A lot of people saying the same thing, really. Lots of kind of positivity toward both of these, even though there is an element of Klingon in there. It's actually more like one of those aliens from Red Dwarf for me. The spy, yeah, everyone is saying that, Chris. Everyone is saying that, mate. But anyway, so that's one head, and of course, two heads are better than one. So here is your classic Nemesis Immortal, and again, pretty solid in terms of what Nemesis Immortal looks like. I like the kind of texture they've got on the effectively. Well, I guess it's a mask or like a headpiece. It could just be part of his skin, couldn't it? I mean, that could be part of him. It doesn't necessarily have to be a separate piece of clothing on his head. His head could look like that because there's a bit of, because it's got texture on it. So I wonder if that is just part of his skin. Has anyone ever thought about this? I know it's obviously supposed to be like a mask in the cartoon because it's a different color, but I don't know. It does look very much like it's supposed to be part of his body. Anyway, let's just say mask, even though it only covers his nose and his cheeks and his hair and his forehead. But yeah, I love the texture on that. Very, very Cobra La-ish. And the kind of I suppose the expression is pretty cool. Sort of like proper mean mugging, isn't he? I like it. How much bigger than Serpentor do you think he will be? An inch, maybe two? I don't think he'll be that much bigger, DJ5 Ash. I think he'll be probably a little bit bigger than Serpentor, but he'll be probably the biggest one going. They're not going to use Serpentor's body for this. I can't in a million years see that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you can rub it in my face. But again, doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen that often. Jeepers Creepers vibes on the purple head, says Out of Shelf Space. Okay. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever seen the Jeepers Creepers guy. I've never seen the film. I'm fully aware of it. I just don't think I've seen, or have I seen it? Have I seen it? I can't remember. It's one of those ones that I've just completely forgotten if I have seen it. Trying to decide if I like Disappointed Head 1 or Disappointed Head 2 better. Both look awesome, says McMurphy. They are kicking off that I'm very disappointed with you right now sort of vibe. But he does have that face, doesn't he? Like in pretty much every scene he's ever been in, it's that look of, like literally looking down at everybody. Not just literally. But from like a perspective of them feeling like he's better than everybody else, even though he has to take orders from literally everybody else at Cobra La. Well, Globulus and Pythona, he doesn't have to take anything from anyone else, does he? But you know what he's like. Can we talk about how purple he is? Deep purple. He is a bit purple in that one. That's very purple. Don't worry, these are just prototype like first shots or whatever you want to call them. I don't actually know the exact terminology for these particular heads. Don't have the info for that yet, but they are generally described as prototypes, aren't they? Or early production, or early in the production process. It could be any point, really, couldn't it, in that early process? Um, he's a purple people eater. These heads are unfinished at best. The finished product is what I always judge. Samples and mock-ups are always lackluster. Exactly, raw talk, real deal. Very good point. It does look like a suit, Josh. It does. And I'm sure it is. And I'm positive it is. It's just, it got me thinking when looking at this head. I've never really thought about that before. And the fact that it's got that texture on it, I don't know. Retro head and a classified up head makes sense to include both. Right, yes, I see what you're saying, Paul. You don't literally mean retro as in retro carded, though, do you? You mean as in an old type of head and a classified up head makes sense to include both. Yeah, I get what you're saying, mate. You got to start. This is the thing, when you start throwing around retro terminology, you start going, "Oh, hang on, you mean vintage head, don't you?" Right? Yeah, okay, I'm sure you do. Cheers. What else are we saying? Nemesis Enforcer always looked extra evil compared to the other Cobra La guys, so this fits perfectly. Agreed, McMurphy, on that one. James says, hoping for more of that mutated monster head sculpt for Cobra La Royal Guards, because I really want to army build them. Maybe this one will fit on them too. That's a good point. Yeah, that's like almost like an unmasked Royal Guard head sort of thing. That's a good point, that, yeah. Who's mini vintage head? I like that one, Scott. That's another good one. Good shout. Right, yeah. So anyway, I'm enjoying both of these kind of takes on him. Both have a similar kind of like vibe in the nose covering. Like basically, they cover the face in the same way. The masks, don't they? It's just this mask has got way more crazy details on it, bony bits and bits of sculpted odds and ends and different texture on it. And this one is effectively just a ski mask with snake skin on it, with a bit of the bottom cut off. It's not a good ski mask. It's just, it's just covering the bits that, I don't know, maybe he's bald under there. Who knows? Lego Star Wars Kid. Lego Star Wars Kid makes more sense. I don't know why I said that. I said that like I was Stephen Toast then, didn't I? Lego Star Wars Kid. Maybe it's a bad angle. I don't like it so far. Interesting. Maybe, I mean, who knows what it's going to turn out like. You might change your mind later, but that's the first. That's honestly the first person that I've heard say something negative towards how it looks. Which again, totally up to you. And I know a lot of people don't really get into Cobra La, so I totally understand that. He will be a big figure for sure. Totally. I hope he's taller than he will be, Paul. Yeah, he'll be taller than all of the figures, I believe. Hello, Travis. How you doing, buddy? Hope for a third human head for Cobra Commander. Ooh, yeah, that'd be cool. Pastor Pierogi. I heard this will be an 8-inch figure. If that is true, my lord, that would be huge, but makes sense. Yeah, Eben, he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to be 8 inches. That might be a bit much, because he would look out of place at 8 inches, wouldn't he? Because they're all like 6. I mean, 2 inches I think that would be a bit ridiculous. I imagine he'll be a touch taller than Serpentor, is what my expectation is. I can't see him being 8 inches though, mate. That's great. And if he is, then wow. But I don't know. I think that might be the wrong way to go, because it would make him look a little bit ridiculous and wouldn't look like he's part of the line at 8 inches. I don't know. We'll have to see him next to Serpentor and what have you. But yeah, I suppose we'll find out eventually, well, soon. Maybe since it said that it's the year of Cobra Commander, Emily said the name reveal is Cobra La Scientist Cobra Commander. Could be John. That'd be kind of cool. I'm going to need 2 Nemesis Enforcers on my display. Nemesis. Yes, Casual 100. Because if you've got 2 heads, you've got to have 2 versions of it, haven't you? Wasn't even going to get the Cobra La stuff, never dug it, but this may change my mind. Crazy how that happens with Classified. But Jody, I see what you're saying. You think he will have solid white eyes, Mark P? No. No, I think he'll have eyes. I think he'll have little doop doops. Let's have a look at. Oh yeah, because obviously the figure had the white eyes, didn't it? But or the vintage did. Did they give him eyes in the other figures? Yeah, he got eyes in the other figure, I should say, not figures. But yeah, he got eyes in the 25th comic pack. So I'm gonna say eyes on this one, although because he had eyes in the cartoon, he had eyes, like I said, he's had eyes everywhere apart from this figure, the vintage one. So yeah, I'm gonna say regular eyes. Hungry eyes. Um, the paint's really gonna help make it pop. Yeah, absolutely. Damn, that looks so good, says Ray. They could have made him Classified first build a figure, given he's bigger than Slaughter and Serpentor by 3 feet 3 inches in this case. Yeah, I really can't see them going that big with it. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be, like I said, I think he's going to be unique. I think he's going to be massive, but I don't think he's going to be 8 inches. That might be a little bit too much. Again, I'll have to see him, won't we, later on? Is it legit, Chris? Yes, it is legit, Ray. We know he's coming, and this happens literally all the time, does it not, with these leaks? Um, hello, Chris. I can hear you, Clem Fandango. Um, he should be half a head taller than Serpentor. Yeah, I would say so. I would say about half a head would be enough. That would be fine with me. He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be like, a Sentinel compared to the X-Men, rest of the X-Men figures, but like, sorry, X-Men, the Marvel Legends. I mean, they're in the X-Men, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not going to be that sort. It doesn't need to be that ridiculous, but like, definitely needs to be the biggest figure in the line, and needs to stay that way more or less, unless you get like a Fatal Fluffy, or is it Rhaegar? Can't remember his name. Always forget it anyway. Which I don't think we will necessarily get those. If Cobra Commander gets a human head, says Carl, I'd love the disguise face from Marvel Comics, or some deep cut like that. Yeah, the like the kind of ponytail kind of facial hair kind of deal with the shades. What is Serpentor? He is 6.5. Again, he's tall. Serpentor's massive, but he doesn't dwarf the rest of the. It's not like so painfully massive. So I think he'll be bigger than Serpentor, and I think he'll probably be in around about 7, or at least close to 7 inches is what I would say. Yeah, Lenny has said in the past he's not really into doing builder figures for Classified. He has said that. How big is a Hulk figure compared? It will be wild for him to be giant. Yeah, like, again, Hulk figures in the Legends line, and like Juggernaut and stuff like that. They're big, but I don't remember, like, it's different with Marvel Legends because they have huge huge like height differences throughout characters, and they have like lots of them, and there's a reason for it. But with like the G.I. Joe and Cobra, it's like, Big Lob's probably tall. They could do a Big Lob figure that would be tall and a bit lanky on a different body, but he's not going to be like gung ho Roadblock sort of build. But they're like Nemesis Enforcer, and then like Big Lob, and then it's like everyone else is effectively the same, more or less the same height or shape or size or whatever. So it's like, there's not that sort of crazy difference in the GI Joe kind of like toy line, shall we say? And yeah, we've got Monstro Viper and Bio Viper and stuff like that. But yeah, well, if we do get them, great. But that's a different proposition. And I know Nemesis Enforcer is slightly a different proposition as well, but that's why I think he will be big. and I think he'll be, but I don't think he's going to be like, you know, stupid bigger than the rest of. Imagine your display of all your figures, and Nemesis Immortal looks like he doesn't belong there because he's like just 2 inches bigger than any other figure. It would just be a weird look. Yes, tall, but not so he's kind of like going out of scale with the rest of the line. Um, his lips look too thick. Um, okay, that could possibly be the sculpt, the angle, all that kind of stuff. But then again, that is a reason why you're not feeling this one, Lego Star Wars kid. I get that. I think 6 inch is going to help the Cobra La designs better than their vintage O-ring ever could. Agreed, pass. Well, his head is on that guy's finger. Judging by scale, he's going to be big. Yeah, we're aware he's definitely going to be a big figure, 100%. But I don't know if he's going to be like 8 inches might be a stretch. I believe this will sell very, and the rest of Cobra La and Pythona will come. Agreed, Kev. Yep. So we're getting a Royal Trooper 2-pack. Oh god, I wish we get a Royal Guard 2-pack. That'd be so good. Oh man, he's gonna have those Venom wings from Marvel Legends. Well, no, we won't because they can't do that. Will we get the Inspector Gadget version of Nemesis Immortal? You mean like where he has the either the wings or the green tentacles? Um, do you think they'll do the wings like the ML Venom figure? Like, yes, not the same as, but maybe similar to that. But then again, he might have. It's difficult, isn't it? Because when I think of the wings, he's got almost bat wings, hasn't he? He's got kind of very like fleshy bat wings, and which is my nickname in high school. And like someone like Raptor has like he's made it at home, like a little wing suit sort of thing. But yeah, like in terms of this, it would probably have to be something like extendable bat wings, or like, I mean, I don't know. I could see them doing some sort of articulation on it, or I could see them just going, let's do um let's do something, let's do like 2 sets, so closed and open or something like that. So you could do that. But I don't know, I think articulated would be kind of fun. Um, and Angel's wings are more articulated. Yeah, agreed. I think they'll do articulated ones. I don't know if that's the case, but I think I would probably go that direction if I was designing it. Not that that means anything. Um, so many questionable quotes this episode with the inches talk. Yes, yes, there are. Uh, Pythona is going to be awesome. I can't wait for Pythona. Ramar, sorry, was the character I was trying to remember, and I always forget the name. Thank you, Ryan and Paul. He needs to be about 9 inches, I would think. Any bigger, it becomes almost 1/6 scale. 9 inches, Daniel, would be too big, in my opinion. 8 inches is going to be too big. He's going to be big, but like I said, I don't think he's going to be that. I don't think he's going to be so big he doesn't fit in the line design plan anymore. Like just imagine looking at that and him just like it'd be like you like have to put the hiss tank behind him just to make it look right. I'm hoping something close to the why did they change his name from Nemesis Enforcer, John? Because of the usual reasons, trademark. They didn't have his name trademarked, and it was used in another game, I believe, a computer game. And then, yeah, they lost the trademark for it, and instead of saying like Stephen Nemesis Enforcer Jones, which is what they sometimes do, he doesn't have a real. His real name is, I don't know what his real name will be, something Cobra Lari. So maybe they could have made up a Cobra La style name like Gangrel Phenonomax, right? Gangrel Nemesis Enforcer Granonomax. I just forgot the name immediately. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're not going to do that. So they changed it to Nemesis Immortal instead, um, just to avoid that, just to avoid having to do any trademark battles. Um, I hope he has a 4-figure wingspan. Could do, 6.5 or 6.8 inches. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't mind. I don't mind if it is 7 inches, right? Like Kitty said. I don't mind if it's 7 inches. Are you kidding me? I'll take that. And party. But I can't. If people are saying like 8, 9, I just think that's too much. If they do that, do. If they do that, I would probably be like, oh, that I don't know. I think 7 inches would be fine. I'd I'd be happy with 7 inches. Eh. Venomous Maximus was pretty big, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean there are some. I mean, yeah, but how many times have we had Venomous Maximus? Once. If like I don't under, there's been loads of. I mean, there's been loads of situations where you could throw in a oversized kind of like character. How about that gigantic bat that was in Saturday Morning Adventures? How about a Fatal Fluffy? How about a Bio Viper or a Monstro Viper or anyone in like Mega Marines or Star Brigade when it got chunky? Like there are big things you can do. Don't get me wrong, but in the classified series right now, do you think they're going to do an 8 or 9 inch figure that is going to dwarf every other? It wouldn't look right. It wouldn't scale properly. I think you've got to kind of take that into consideration with the classified line as well, and what they do with the classified line. They're not taking exact things necessarily from the Sunbow cartoon and applying it to the classified series. They're definitely tweaking it and moving it around. It's definitely going to be bigger than most of the other figures. I can almost, I'm going to assume that that's the case. But is it going to be like 8, 9? Probably not. It's probably going to be more like 7 or close to that. It's going to be the biggest figure in the line, though. Let's face it. Not every line needs builder figures. I don't see it making sense for G.I. Joe. Well, I don't think it does either. A lot of people say it would, but then they only give me one example of it. And then it's like, well, what about the rest of what do we do after that? What's the next bath? I think Snake Armor was the only one that ever really came up. And even then, I'm not really sure that does work because, especially if you want to make something really, really cool, like in terms of like a vehicle or stuff like that. I mean, like a few pack rats might work, and then something like. But even then, just make pack rats with a figure. Do we need a do we need a builder figure for that? Do you know what I mean? Like Snake Arm is the only one I've ever heard of it kind of being utilized, and everything else they're like they pour everything into like the little vehicles and stuff. So you couldn't really break down like a trouble bubble, for example, and have it make sense in a builder figure wave. Plus, so I mean, I have got there have been a few situations in the Marvel Legends line where I don't want to buy all the figures just to get the builder figure. There's only like a couple of the figures I want. Like I had Shang-Chi. He was the only figure I had in that wave, and I had this big cape that went with I forget who it went with. I forget who the builder figure was for that wave. Someone will tell me in the comments, I'm sure. But it was pointless. Although actually, I did steal it for Shang-Chi to make it look like he was wearing like a cloak in the whenever he got cold. But it didn't really work. It kind of flexed out a little bit and stuck out a bit weird. But yeah, like I don't necessarily. But then again, with Classified, I'm collecting all of them anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. But I'm not sure how it would work and for what point it would work for. Maybe Nemesis Immortal as a builder figure would have been an option, but then again, what the next, like you're talking, I've named all of the big figure characters pretty much on one hand. Right, let's throw Venomous Maximus in there, Nemesis Immortal, another one, Monstro Viper, Bio Viper, and Ramar, right? There's 5 you could do, but and a Fatal Fluffy 6. But is that gonna? I mean, that's not going to work over a long period of time, is it? Now, Marvel Legends have that opportunity, have that option where they've got so many characters and figures, and they haven't even done all of the characters yet in Marvel, and they come back and do other ones again and redo them and stuff. So they're in a slightly different, like, you're in a slightly different boat with Marvel Legends. It doesn't quite, the comparison isn't quite the same. I'd rather have accessories than big pieces, says Jody. No baths for GI Joe, says Lego Star Wars Kid. Rachel, Hulk figures are wide but not necessarily tall. Good point. He should be 2 to 3 inches bigger. He has to scale bigger, or his character makes no sense being the same size as a man. Daniel, he wouldn't be the same size as a man if he was 7 inches in this line, though, would he? But he's not going to be that much. I mean, if it would look stupid in my opinion, anyway. Royal Guard 3-pack. He needs to look otherworldly. I'm pretty sure he will. Grizzlethorn. I guess how well the cells will gauge interest in Cobra La and determine whether we will get organic floating chariot globulus or a more basic one. I don't know about that, actually, James. I think they just do what they want to do, no matter what's happened before. I feel like I don't think they really. I don't know. I wouldn't put all my money on a deluxe figure necessarily. I wouldn't kind of, put all my bets on like that necessarily. But for, because it's not like a con exclusive, for example. This is just a deluxe figure. And that's hard to gauge, I think, personally. But like, I don't know. I don't think then this. I think we're going to get what we get, and they've already made plans to do so. Honestly, he had a trench coat in the comic. He does, Grizzlethorn. Yes, he does. There's a whole human version of him. He's covered in human skin, isn't he? Basically, Royal Guard 2 or 3-pack would be awesome. Yes, it would. Inspector Gadget Enforcer, 3 dreadnoughts in a trench coat. Amazing. My trust in Lenny is so high that his wings are going to be better than we have imagined. I would hope so, McMurphy, honestly. And I can see it as well. I can see it being really cool, this one. They could do a freedom type, set 1, set closed, and 1 set that are open, just on the Anderson. Yeah, I think that could be done, yeah. I hope we get Pythona soon. So do I. He needs to be 8.34555 inches or else. Okay, Paul, we'll go with that one. 7.5 inch be okay. Okay, cool. We'll go with 7.5 then. He could be ML Venom comic with wing size. He could be. Definitely bigger than Serpentor. Yep. He's not a Stephen. He's a Gregory. Sorry, Scott. The Immortal Nemesis Enforcer, to give him his full name. Yes, indeed, Lego. His real name is Ned D. Enforcer, but that was already trademarked. Thank you, McMurphy. That's hilarious. Fatal Fluffies could be out of scale huge, but human characters need to stay in human proportions. Yeah. You heard it here first. Nemesis Immortal's real name is Stephen Jones. Confirmed. I confirm that. Gangrel Phenomenax. That is what I said, wasn't it, Josh? Thank you for writing it down, because I forgot the surname as soon as I said it. Did I say Gangrel? I did say Gangrel, didn't I? Not Gargamel. Gangrel Phenomenax actually is a really good name. What I kind of made that up, and it sounds brilliant now. Now you've written it down. It sounds brilliant. I said it first, though. Can we just get that clear? Just joking, but that's amazing, Josh. Thank you for writing that down, because I was just so upset I forgot what I said. In actual fact, I'm going to make sure that I've got that. Here we go. Perfect. I couldn't be bothered to type it out, so I just took a picture of it. 5 inches, but he's got a big personality. Ryan, that was a little bit too close to home. I feel attacked. Just have 3-0 make him, and then put him with your classified. Yes, Chucky Tinderbin, I like it. Yes, Chris, 9 inches is uncomfortable. Thank you. Kitty said I'd be happy with 7 inches. I see I'm behind on the chat here, as you can tell. Chris, your mic is low. Hard to hear you clearly. Really? Oh, my apologies. There's not much I can do about it, unfortunately, um, because I'm just yelling at my laptop. What is everyone having issues hearing me? Let me know in the comments. You might just have to turn it up, mate. Sorry. You'd be satisfied with 7 inches? Yes, I would. I take a Bio Viper and Monstro Viper in the classified line. Yeah, me too. I hope he had extra hands along with his extra head. Too bad one of the heads couldn't be a screaming mouth. Todd, that's a good point, actually, because that is a good point, actually, because I said that at the beginning. I was like, how cool would it be to have like two heads, but one of them would be like a different expression, like a scream or a yell or whatever? That would be really cool. Okay, Robo Joe's another one. Thank you, Scott. There's another one. I want Heat Viper and Night Viper, says Josh. Yeah, so sorry, so going back to your point, Todd. Yes, I think extra hands would be I don't know what I don't really know, honestly, what different hands he could have. Maybe punchy ones, like fists and open. I don't know. Don't know. What accessories is he coming with, more importantly? Are they going to deck him out in all sorts of like Cobra La grossness, like a squidgy face hugger or a tentacle type thing, like anything like that? The four-headed electricity snake. I do hope they keep some of those for Pythona. I don't want them to just completely give everything to Nemesis Immortal and then leave Pythona with like just reuse rather than getting a few kind of extra pieces in there as well. Maybe split it up between the two of them. That'd be kind of cool. Instead of doing a build a figure, do a build a play set. Like someone comes with a tent, some come with put the radio. I mean, yeah, but that would just be like them having accessories, wouldn't it? At the end of the day, like you know, and plus they'd have to do it very specifically. Like certain sets would only work, and then you wouldn't be able to get a checkpoint alpha in there because it would be too much. No, Laser Pants. I did say you. I 100% credited you. And look, it even says your name on the screen there. Look, see, Laser Pants. Absolutely credited you, mate. There you go. It's there. I did, and I said it at the beginning as well. Yes, bring us a playset. Then my wife will divorce me. Okay, Josh. Demo Goblin. Yes, it was Raw Talk Real Deal. I am far behind on this chat. My apologies. Yes, Demo Goblin was the builder figure in that Shang-Chi wave that I was talking about before with the cape and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. I'm curious about the wings. Wonder if they'll be the different than Raptors. I would imagine so. I don't think they're going to do. I don't think they're going to, because Raptors got bird wings and Nemesis Immortal has bat wings. So they're two completely different types of wings, really. I think Hasbro need to let Mezco make Nemesis Enforcer, and that way they would do it right. Okay. Okay, Justin. And I think they're going to do this one right. To be honest, I think this is going to be pretty cool. It looks weird with body parts in the package. I'm sure it would. I had to get the whole bone breaker wave just to get the tank. Yeah, I mean that's another thing, isn't it? Like there's always that thing of like I suppose if you want the builder figure, it's different. If the builder figure's really cool, then you're gonna get all the figures. But if I don't really care too much about the builder figure, which has happened in the past, then and there's only certain figures in that wave that I want, like Shang-Chi, then it's not going to draw me into doing it. And Marvel have got to that point sometimes where in certain waves, the builder figure's been a bit of a stretch, hasn't it? And you're kind of like, hey, it's cool, it ticks a box, it gets, another character done, but is it like sexy enough to get you kind of, to buy all of them? But anyway, I personally, my personal belief is I don't think build a figure really works with the classified series. Build a mass device was the build a mass device was fun in the 25th anniversary line, but it was right, absolutely underscaled completely, Ed, as was the Weather Dominator, but and it was again slightly different. You kind of you're getting parts together over like 4-inch sets and stuff, aren't you? So you're getting loads out of that. What we're saying. Build a checkpoint alpha. I'm behind on comments. My apologies, guys. So I'm way behind. It seems to be kicking off big time in the comments. I don't know why. Okay. Gangrel Phenomenax could tour with Cold Slither. You could absolutely. I've got to the point where you finally said you can hear me, and that's great. That's good. Who's extra hands? I like that one as well, Mark. That's a good one. Elbow spike. Oh, the elbow spikes is something we haven't talked about yet, isn't it? Because I mean, that's another aspect where you have. Do you have extendable ones, or do you have like different ones that you switch out? That's a really good point. He should come with the pod he was holding, that blinded roadblock. That's a good. Actually, that's a good ad. That is a good addition, definitely. All love just playing. Have a good podcast. What have you been doing? Accessories include the lamentations of his enemies. I like that one. That's a good one, Mark. We're sure he's not a figure and pet. He could come with a few insect buddies, not necessarily Python as weapons. Well, we know he's a deluxe, and that's the listing, isn't it? DLX. And when it's a figure pet, it'll say figure and pet. Anyway. Would the wings be articulated? Not sure, honestly. Absolutely not sure at all. That's one I think I would prefer articulated wings personally. What would you prefer in that one, Lawrence? Would you want the wings articulated, or would you want like two separate kind of connections? Hopefully they do more Cobra than just Nemesis Immortal. The 25th line stopped with Nemesis Immortal. The club had to do Pythona. Indeed, Rachel. Extendables are too much science. Yeah, I guess. But we've had successful ones, haven't we? Let's face it. Articulated for sure, Lawrence. Okay, cool. Both Lenny and Tony looks like they have the NECA gargoyles in their background in your interview. Probably research. That is a good spot, that, James. My goodness, I did not notice that. I should have seen that. Hello, not Top Goon. How you doing? Hello. You're saying hi, so I'm saying hi back. Got a Jeepers Creepers movie demon vibe going. Yeah, someone else said that in the chat earlier on, Johnny. And this one, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I've managed to avoid that movie somehow, or I have seen it. I've completely forgotten it. That could be what's going on here. Hello, Dragon Reborn. Nemesis is 9 inches, says Scott, and extendable. 9 inches. I don't know. Oh, you're questioning it. I see what you're saying. I missed the first 20 minutes of this live. That alternate head is just bonkers. I love it. I think it's really good. I think it's really good. I like both of them, honestly. Leave that one on the screen for a bit so we can see both of them at the same time. Yeah, really cool. So yeah, that is, I think, yeah, there was a lot of spam going on in the comments before, but I was literally skimming for questions, so I did miss a lot of it. But no, that's great. Good good engagement. Thank you, guys. Top shelf over left shoulder for Lenny and ceiling over right shoulder for Tony. James, that's really deep. I mean, that's looking very close. I like that. McMurphy said, oh, thank you, mate. Thank you for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Thanks for the Sunday afternoon entertainment and updates. Very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very kind of you, McMurphy. Thank you very much. Always appreciated, dude. And thank you so much for the support. I dislike the classified version immensely already. Or are you talking about a different figure? Maybe he will come with a base like the Dragonfly so he can fly. That'd be kind of fun. Or propellers. If the concept of Cobra using all organic technology, the original head doesn't really look like anything. This new one has a creepy crustacean vibe. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that a lot. Hey Chris, says Michael. I said earlier you can use Marvel Legends Colossus size and Angel's wings, and as probably the size for Nemesis Enforcer. That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe it'll grow on me. Hope it does. I mean, you're only seeing the heads as well. Let's face it. So you're probably, there's probably a lot more to come. Well, obviously, there's a lot more to come. There's like 95% more of the figure to come. Yeah, coolsies. Right. Anyway, that's Classified Nemesis Immortal. I did have this. Was it this image? Yeah, just to kind of show all of the different versions. Really, not necessarily in like a repaint scenario as such, but just what we could see. I wonder what direction they're going to go in effectively. I imagine in terms of deco, it's probably going to be very close to the Sunbow kind of like layouts in terms of deco. And probably follow that a lot closer than any of the other figures did. I don't think, Michael, I don't think that other head, I don't think we've seen anything. I don't think there's any precedent for it. The purple one, that one. I don't think there's any precedent for it. I think it's just an updated classified sort of thing that Lenny's doing for it. So that's what I think's happening there. But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, there you got that. Cool. Gonna use that mutated head as a dark energon possessed version. I like that, Killer King. That's a really interesting way to go with it. Any chance that a Serpentor re-release retro card when this drops, we think? No, I'm the question. I'm not saying no, or I'm the question, but that's your name. I would probably say it wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Serpentor re-release as a retro or something, just because I feel like that's where they'll probably utilize some of those spots is for figures that might have been difficult to get hold of for certain people. So I think that is a good shout. Like Serpentor, who are the other ones? Dr. Mindbender is one that seemed to be difficult for a lot of people to get hold of, and any others that kind of crop up that you might think similarly easy for me to say. So yeah, I think there's a good shot. I think there's a good chance that we might see Serpentor re-released or as a retro card. Definitely. Not necessarily. I don't know if it's going to be when Nemesis Immortal comes out, but I could see it in the future at some point. Not saying that I know, but if I was to guess on that one. Any other loads of comments, guys? There's a lot of you commenting today. Thank you very much appreciate it. Those O-ring wings are perfect. Just use the same piece, no need to rescale, says Ryan. You're hilarious. For God's sake, no baby wings. I want a twin neck post to use both heads. Oh wow, Chris, actually that's pretty interesting. Like a two-headed Nemesis Immortal, that would be wicked. I'm hoping for the Sunbow wings over the figure bat wings. They are nice and creepy gross. Actually, yeah, that's true. I suppose the bat wings that happened on the figure didn't really look exactly like the Sunbow cartoon. As you can see on the left there, they're way bigger, way cooler, way more curved. But yeah, I think they're probably going to look something like that. Maybe with like little circular kind of gaps in them every now and again and stuff. Yeah, that'd be wicked. Like Nemesis 2 bad Future Fortress. Yes, indeed, the two-headed one. Yeah. Hot take, maybe. I want more classified original designs. I actually quite like the first wave of. I want more classified original. Oh, sorry, I see what you're saying. Original designs in the classified series rather than the vintage style. Yeah, I actually quite like the first wave of Joes. Do you know what? Like I like some of the ones that are the kind of more classified style. I do like that. I kind of like I thought when this started, my head went to somewhere like, well, maybe we could have vintage kind of designs on one side and classified up, style on the classified side, and just do that at the same time and just run with it. Now they're kind of doing that, but on both sides to a degree. Because I mean, Jinx is a different design. Rock and Roll is. Who are some of those ones in the recent waves? Doc. I mean, you just take some of the things off him and you get regular Doc, so it's slightly different. But yeah, what I'm getting at is I thought there was going to be a very clear path of retro style designs and classified updates, and they would both run concurrently, next to each other all the way, sort of thing. And that never really seemed to happen. Instead, we got this kind of strangled route of sort of doing brand new stuff. Then they started changing that design a little bit, but had some other things that were quite very similar to the original, and then it all went very close to the original, and then every now and again there'll be one random one that it's all a bit haphazard. And now we're on a path where at least we've got a nice clear retro path and a nice clear classified path. So I don't know whatever you think on that one, but yeah, I feel what you're saying though. I do like some of those early designs. I do. The 25th version was half an inch taller than the 375 ones, right? Says Michael. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, he was big, but I don't remember. I can't even see the figures next to each other, honestly, in my head. I hope we get an Insectocycle. Use Baroness's motorcycle as a base. Yeah, the one that they were going to do, and there's a, what you call it, of it. Concept art, isn't there, of it? Yeah, totally. Who's similarly 25th, we're about 4 inches somewhere like, oh yeah, totally. Oh, you're right. Sorry, Ed, you're right. They're 4 inches, not 375. They were 4 inches, the 25th figures. It's funny how you get into Cobra La and people are like, those Wave 1 classified designs weren't so bad. I get why people don't like Cobra La. I get why people don't like the movie, but for me, I love it, and I love everything about it. I love Sunbow. I don't see the Sunbow, like, I'm not that, how it kind of got to be like almost like, pick a faction. It's like you're a G.I. Joe comic fan or you're a G.I. Joe cartoon fan. There was never, it seemed to be like you're one or the other. I loved it all. And I know a lot of people do love it all, don't get me wrong. But I was definitely a lover of all of it. Some of it, is a bit bonkers. But I don't mind that there's an element of Joe that's bonkers and there's an element of Joe that's serious. They both can live in the same universe, both can live in the same brand, right? And at the same time. And right now, Classified is just playing in that whole friggin' sandbox. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just all getting on with it and all enjoying it, and doing all sorts of different kind of characters and different kind of parts of the brand and stuff. I don't think this is like a lot of people saying, right, I'm out now because they're doing Cobra La. It's like, well, I'm surely there's gonna be other figures that you like still. Not again, it's up to you. If you hate it that much, you hate it that much. Damn, I didn't get any notifications that you were live. Sorry, Wilfredo. They could do the reddish Deco Serpentor, although I would love to see a Potator. Amazing, Rachel. Yeah, the kind of copper Serpentor would be cool, wouldn't it? And I don't mean like police officer. The toy didn't look like they were his real wings. It looked like he was wearing a bat backpack, says Ed. Yeah, that's actually quite a good shout, honestly. I do love that 3-pack, but yeah, it's a bit far from what the actual figures were. Do you know what I mean? When G.I. Joe Classified went more retro, that's when this line caught fire. It did, yeah. I think they might have course corrected a touch too hard. Now we've got basically original designs in the regular line and super original in the retro figures. I agreed, yeah. Love that Duke and Scarlet, but it's almost jarring having them stand next to my rock and roll and flints and so on, yeah. Classified Nullifier with the Cobra La vehicle. That'd be sweet. Get that Nullifier back in where he belongs, Rachel. Exactly. I also love the movie. The Rawhides are the centerpiece of my collection. That movie is maybe my favorite piece of Joe stuff. It's just a blast. And it's funny, isn't it? Everyone might hate the cartoon or hate the Sunbow or whatever, but a lot of them can agree on the fact that that intro is absolutely killer. One of the best intros to an animated film of all time. Amazing. Anyway, right. We don't need G.I. Joe if we don't have the weird or bonkers the regular military would do. He was built off the Serpentor body with long, lanky legs, says Ed. Yeah, there was a proportional issue with the 4-inch version, or the 4-inch version, the 25th version. Justin says, I didn't like Cobra La at first, but then I grew up and into it a lot. And now I think they're badass and a pretty cool origin story for Cobra and Cobra Commander. I thought you were going to say it grew on you, which I was going to say you need to get that removed because it's Cobra La and it will be, terrible for you. But no, that's totally cool, man. I totally get it. Neither, Michael. Nemesis Immortal is a deluxe figure, standard deluxe. Raptor SDCC Stardust Pulsecon, as Ryan has mentioned. James says, random question: how long did you play basketball? That asked we needed a big lob. How long did I play basketball? Since I was from about, I first started playing in first year of high school properly for a team, and I was probably playing when I was about 8 or 9 was when I first started playing basketball, and I played through high school, through college, and then after college I started playing with the Norfolk team, which is the county I was in, North Norfolk Bombers. And then after that, I went and played semi-pro for Kingsland Fury for like 3 years, I want to say. It was longer than that before, like 3 years semi-pro. Prior to that, I was playing for them before they got into the National League. So yeah, that was my process. And then I stopped playing in like, wow, God, what year was that? It was a while ago. It was a while ago. I played a little bit after that. Did a few kind of like, we played Legends games, and I would be invited back to play Legends games where they would do like a special game against the new team. So they'd have like a new team, and then the Legends would come back and put a team together. We'd always win as well. It was great. In fact, I hit the free throws in the last Legends game that won the game. That was quite fun. Really tense finish. Not that it matters. Not that anyone cares. But yeah, I played, like I said, I played a little bit. Can I dunk? I could dunk, Justin Anderson. Never did it in a game though. But I was at one point, when we would do like friggin' like we would train day in, day out for like the entire summer and like stuff, like just constantly at it, right? And I remember we got to the point where a lot of us were kind of like, just that's all we would do for the entire time. We would just try and dunk the entire time. And I remember when I first dunked, I must have been in my teens, and we had a court at college at Paston, and we would show off constantly. We would be dunking in pickup games, but I never dunked in a actual competitive game because of the way we played a lot of the time. And I was more of a shooter. I was more of an outside shooter, mid-range and 3-point kind of area. But I was a shooting guard, and then turned into almost like a power forward, based on like our team. Like we started kind of like changing a little bit and getting like crazy good players from all over like different countries and stuff like that. And yeah, my game changed a lot going into the semi-pro angle. It was very intense, and training was getting like really like bonkers. And when it got to that point of like, when it got to that point that was too much, like the fun had been sucked out of it, I kind of had to call it a day. So I remember kind of quitting after the season had finished. In like the training session, I brought my kit back and I was just like, I'm so sorry, I can't do this anymore. It was just too much. It was too much. Like I really loved it. I loved playing basketball, but it got really intense. And like I said, we were playing in the National League for a couple of years, and it was good, and we did all right in it. But like it got, like I said, it just got to that point where it's like, this is too much. Like unless you really, and plus I had to also like work as well on top of that, because we weren't getting a lot of money, but we were getting paid for games, training, and we would coach as well. Some of us would be coaches, so we'd go around the country doing like the county, doing like training sessions for like schools and stuff like that. So but the thing is, I also had to have another job at the same time. So I was doing like these two things. All my time was gone, and it was hard work doing all of that. If it had been like a case where I was only doing that, then it would have been fine. I'd have just kept doing that and kept playing, but it just got too much. Anyway, that was a random side quest. My apologies for that, guys. I can't dunk now. If I tried now, I think my knees would just would just turn to dust. Like it's crazy. I put on like so much weight as well. Like I am, it just forget it. And we had in our before we moved in our apartment complex, we had a half court that I would go in and play on quite a lot when we first got there. Then COVID kicked off. I would still go and play. And then when it kind of petered out a little bit, I started kind of going back and playing again a little bit more. But it was one of those things where you didn't really want to bump into anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like it was that kind of thing. You didn't really want to see anybody. And I was playing with a mask on as well, and it was like it was a bit awkward. So I I haven't even like shot a basketball since then. And I need to get back on it again. I need like a little like team or something, a little local team that I can play again. James says that's awesome. I did a season of semi-pro football. That's cool. Cobra Lie was pretty cool, says McGuffle. Shout out to Burgess Meredith, who gave the coldest line ever as a globulus. Silence or be silenced. That was a pretty cool line, actually. You have lost, Action Force. Lost. So that's when you watch the dubbed UK version, obviously. My guess is that one is a classified head and the other is a retro branded head, says Chris. Yeah, it's a deluxe figure, Chris. So it's probably coming with both of them. You'll probably get both of those heads in the same box, is what I would say on that one. Felix says, greetings all. Happy I could make it. Nemesis Immortal, yes, I need him. Hello, Felix. We're about to actually finish now, but thank you for jumping on anyway. I actually enjoyed and appreciated the Cobra Light element in G.I. Joe, the movie. I saw it as a teen, and it's nice to see it being revisited in the Skybound Energon universe as King APE or King Ape. Yes, indeed. The Skybound universe is freaking amazing. I am loving the comics at the moment. Justin Anderson says, so looking at the Nemesis picture, the knives are coming off the wrist gauntlet, so they could have two sets, one extended and one regular. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do like an articulated elbow spike, but I could see them doing something like the Sumbo cartoon there, like a kind of like a secondary that grips onto the wrist and then sticks out, and then two different versions of it. We can call him Nemi for short, Diane. Absolutely. Who here got the Energon Universe free comic yesterday? I haven't, but I've got one. I've got one to read on Monday, courtesy of Andrew Franks. So thank you, Andrew. I will be checking that out. I didn't get a chance to go out to any comic stores on Saturday, but yeah, the in-laws are still. I should probably finish soon because I've been away from the in-laws for a little bit too long now. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Just and I'll talk about Nemesis Immortal. Yeah, let's quickly switch to my face and we'll finish off with a couple of switch to my face. Good job I didn't say finish on my face. I just did. Let's do that. Kitty said. Right, so a couple more questions. I might squeeze them in before we go, if there are any. Burgess Meredith was great in Grumpy Old Men, says Rachel. Yeah, he was. Well done, Andrew. Indeed, Diana. Yes. You think we will get? Michael Taylor says, you think we'll get any cartoons or shows for G.I. Joe? Not movies. I think a series would work great for G.I. Joe. I'd love one. I would love some sort of animated series. I'd love some sort of live action series. Either of those would be phenomenal. But I don't know. There was that whole thing with the Hasbro Brazil presentation at that expo in Brazil, where they had the concept art for the movie kind of on a almost like a motion comic sort of vibe, but that was concept art for the film as it turned out to be, and we didn't get anything for it, so that's a shame. I would really be up for any of those kind of things, live action series, cartoon series, whatever you want to call. I'd be down for it. The comics have really invigorated me for other media, really big time. So if they could do anything like that, but in animation form, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Mark says, who's Finn-ish on my face? Just give me a 15-episode miniseries, says Scott. Okay. Resolute-like series, yes, maybe, hopefully. Fingers crossed, eh? Something like, I mean, I would take anything at this stage, Kitty said. Is Hasbro currently doing any animation at this moment? There's usually a Transformers thing. Well, Transformers 1 is the movie that's animated. They're doing anything else at the moment? I don't know. I can't even think off the top of my head what's out there kind of currently that's kind of Hasbro related property sort of animation. You could say that maybe like anything that like X-Men 97 technically, right? That's Hasbro related. It's not Hasbro created, but it's there. At least they've got toys running for it, and they've got all that kind of stuff. Earthspark, but I don't know where that stands at the moment. Says Scott. Okay, that's another good point. Yeah, like I said, X-Men 97 is the only one that really comes close right now, isn't it? Because they have action figures for it in their actual line, but it's not theirs because it's like a Marvel thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been calling for a classified base series since it started. You and everyone else, McGuffle, like seriously, a classified related anything would be cool. Yeah, I know Ryan Hasbro. That's what I was saying. I said Hasbro, they're making X-Men 97, but that's the only thing that comes close to what, to that thing, that's related in any shape or form. A toy line with a TV series running alongside it, sort of thing. And then, yeah, I suppose anything Transformers related, but I lose track of what Transformers stuff is actually out there. It seems to be like something new every week with Transformers. If they've got an animation team doing a Transformers movie, just keep them working on other Hasbro series. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Right, okay, we're going to bring it to an end there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the News Burst. Really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one. We've got what have we got coming up for you? Probably lots, but I was on yesterday. I'll probably be on tomorrow. You know how it is, the 24/7 ESPN style news that is G.I. Joe, the brand. Ridiculous stuff. Anyway, I'll see you on whatever the next one will be. And you're going to stay fresh, cheese bags, I hope. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @TheFullForce, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheFullForce. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.